Welcome into the show. Now, if you're not massively confused on the process for getting your loan to buy your first house, well, then you haven't done a lot of research because damn, the internet has hundreds of rabbit holes on the subject and they are conflicting, contradictory, and insanely confusing. Time for real consumer-first clarity. Today, I'm going to give you the straight information on the 10 most asked home loan questions here at How to Buy a Home. Let's do this.
How to Buy a Home educates, protects, and connects first-time homebuyers to qualified vetted realtors in their area. Whether you're looking for DIY information or step-by-step guidance, How to Buy a Home is the #1 resource for first-time homebuyers.
What is happening, How to Buy a Homies? I'm David Sidoni, and this is the How to Buy a Home podcast. It's the #1 education and empowerment resource dedicated just to you, first-time homebuyers. I'm the dude who had enough of you guys getting screwed over and decided to grab a microphone and take on the gigantic corrupt real estate industry and start this revolution so that you could get the real on what's going on in the real estate industry. And today I'm exposing the mortgage industry by answering your questions. But I'm not just exposing and talking about all the bad things. I'm going to get the solutions for you and make sure you avoid the pitfalls that are being pushed your direction because, well, let's face it, they're there just to beef up the bottom line of the corporations. And that's the big bummer. The reality is the majority of the mortgage industry are profit-driven machines. They've been playing the numbers game with first-time homebuyers for years, trying to capture your attention and then putting you in the machine. And here's what you need to avoid. They're offering pathetic customer service. And for you, the buyers who actually are out there needing the most guidance. And what's really scary is that recently, I have seen tons of stock shareholder meetings for the big online lenders, and they're raving about the new profits that started in 2026. You know why? Thanks to their incredible new AI business models. And you know what? It's not just the lenders, Zillow's in on it too, having one of their first profitable quarters in decades. They've been massively upgrading their click here for a mortgage portion of their business and telling all the shareholders, this is where we're making our money. So in summary, you are being screwed over by automation. You, the first-time homebuyer, the customer who needs more education, guidance, and service than anyone out there, you're being tossed into a robot-driven automation instead of companies offering you quality customer service. But the good news is you're here with me in your ear holes. So you're going to learn all the insider secrets to finding lending solutions that offer what unfortunately is quickly evaporating, real service. I've said this in past podcasts. Don't shop rates. Don't shop people that just give you a couple bits of information and say, this is your best loan. You want to shop for a mortgage advisor, a planner, a guide, someone that's going to answer all of your questions, not just with what you can do, but what you should do. And they're going to help you build your best strategy. And it's likely not the one that needs to make insane profits so that they can run a Super Bowl ad. Real quick, if you're new to the show, you're going to be stoked that within this 7 years of nothing but first-time homebuyer education, everybody's individual personal step-by-step guide for getting a home loan, and in fact, not just getting a home loan, but everything with the home buying planning, it's already in here for you. There is no one magic episode for everybody, especially not for getting a home loan. So what I tell everybody is start at the first 10 episodes 400, and then build your own playlist from all the topics listed in the episode guide. We'll drop that in the show notes for you. Now let's get into it. The 10 most asked questions on loans and home mortgages. Each one of these topics, they could be an entire podcast on their own, which is why when you look in the episode guide and the library of what we've got here, there are over 20 full episodes just on home loans in the podcast library. Today's answers are going to be short and sweet. No agenda, no sales pitch, just straight truth bombs of knowledge nuggets from your pissed off unk, tired of seeing too many first-time homebuyers get taken advantage of. Before the list, my legal disclaimer, I am not a lender. I'm a realtor and a 20-year coach to first-time homebuyers. And I cut my teeth helping first-time homebuyers in the very expensive Southern California housing market. So you bet that early in my career, I had to learn all the creative ways to get a home loan, all the ins and outs of lending, because it was the only way my buyers could have a shot. I had to become a math and lending savant just in order to make any home buying even feasible. I mean, because these are people who are trying to buy a $500,000, $600,000, $700,000 starter condo. So what you're getting today is neutral third-party advice. I'm not a lender. I'm not trying to sell you a loan. I make $0 off of any loan that you ever get anywhere. This is pure advice from a professional who's seen how tens of thousands of first-time home buyers have succeeded in the past. Here's the 10 questions we're going to cover. 1, what can I do to get the best mortgage rate? 2, which should I do first? Get a real estate agent or pick my lender? 3, how do I choose a lender? 4, should I use an online lender so I can get a better rate? 5, is it better to use my bank, my credit union, or a mortgage broker? 6, how much salary do I need to make before I start thinking about being able to buy a home? 7, when will I know that I'm actually ready to talk to a mortgage person? 8, nobody can buy with these high mortgage rates. 9, I don't think I want to talk to a lender yet because I don't want to get my credit pulled and lower my credit score. And number 10, what can I do to avoid PMI on my loan because I want the cheapest payment possible? All right, let's start with number 1. What can I do to get the best mortgage rate? This is the question everyone asks. It's on everybody's mind. I addressed it most recently in episode 364. And for many of you, my answer is going to shock you a little bit. It's the opposite of everything that the internet says. I am fully aware. Homies, I'm a guy who has zero agenda here. Nothing. I'm not selling you a loan, nor will I ever. I am just an educator. And my advice is never choose a lender based on the interest rates. Don't shop rates, shop service. Find a strategic advisor, a financial planning advocate who is also a home mortgage professional. You're looking to hire a consultant, an educator, and a guide instead of looking to hire a number. That's going to save you tens, even hundreds of thousands more than you just trying to get the best rate. And by the way, lots of those low rates that you see or even get quoted after you apply for a loan with somebody, they're really bait and switch thanks to something called APR. That can bury hidden costs and fees. And that's just one of the ways that you can get burned when you're shopping for your lender by interest rates only. When you hire a support team that treats you like a person, not a number, you're going to find a complete loan program. It's going to have multiple factors, including but not limited to the interest rate. And that entire program is going to be built around your goals, your life, your long-term success with the home purchase. Here's the thing that I've been telling everybody for 20 years, and it's different than everything you're going to find online. Start with your realtor first. You're looking for a unicorn, first-time home buyer, educated specialist, an experienced professional. And then what you do is you get your recommendation from them for a trusted educational lender. Someone who's going to treat you like a person, not a number. That's the shopping you want to do. Shopping for your real estate team, not shopping for an interest rate. Together, when you have a team that's working with you, your best interest in mind, they're cohesive and they're working all together for your success, not independently. And they're going to work on your best timeline. They're going to give you the best programs, strategies, and create all the custom options that fit you, not a corporate loan template, something that they've put out all over the internet with a teaser rate, but really when you get into it, it's full of hidden surprises. And here's some insider info for you. All of the good lenders out there, they know they're being shopped. So the best ones, they're also going to offer you something extra than just a competitive rate. They're going to give you wire-to-wire, non-bait and switch service with no surprises. And those rates, they have to be competitive with the ones that you're finding online because if they didn't offer those, they wouldn't survive. So you're getting the same or similar rates plus, and this is a big fatty plus, they're going to offer real service to you. Non-AI customer service, a real person. Man, I wish you could see all the industry articles and promotions that I have seen on the daily in 2026 about how the big mortgage companies, they're laying off tons of loan officers in 2026, replacing them with AI. And their biggest target with this new business philosophy, you, first-time home buyers. So when you find an education-first mortgage professional with the heart of a teacher, you're going to get priceless guidance to help you discover your options so you can not only get a great interest rate, but save money and make the most efficient and best plan because it was designed specifically for you. This is the way to use your power. I know a lot of people think shopping rates is the way to get your power, but I'm telling you, get your power in talking to a unicorn realtor, getting lender suggestions from them so you can have a cohesive team, and then interviewing those lenders, making sure that they're education first. You got to be educated enough to know that you don't have to settle for just getting a good rate. You can get a good rate plus. You can ask for more, and you should. If you want more details on this, check out episode 346. And for real life stories on this, check the episode guide and dig into all the interviews. Almost every one of them has a miraculous lender as part of their story. All right, number 2, what should I do first? Get a real estate agent or pick a lender? Now, this is one of the biggest myths I've been trying to bust with the podcast revolution, and that's what I just told you about. The myth is that your very first step, most people will tell you, it's to go get a loan pre-approval before you even think of bugging a realtor. Wrong. No. This is a backwards procedure, and it was completely invented by the lending industry. And that's because they can lend in 50 states. Your realtor can only work in one area. So it doesn't make any sense for your realtor to make a gigantic website preaching this fact, but it makes sense for those big online lenders trying to capture your business. Realtors and lenders, this is what you need to know. They're both independent businesses, and they're both trying to get you to work with them. And one of the things you should know is that legally, neither one of them can get kickbacks from each other. So you never have to worry about getting steered in the wrong direction. Unlike Zillow, by the way, which is being sued 3 different cases this year for steering buyers and overcharging them. But I digress. So the best step-by-step process of you buying, it's get the realtor first and then have them refer you to some unicorn lenders who are educators first. And then you've got them both on your side. And now you have a super team of advocates working for you. Check out episode 402 to get more information on that. And if you want more details on the dangers of making your loan pre-approval your first step, because I know this is a really out-of-the-box idea that you're hearing, I explain the dirty details on that in episode 474. It's worth a listen. But I can't take time to talk about it now because I've still got a bunch more questions. Question number 3, how do I pick a lender? Oh, okay, well, that one's easy. See question 2. If you've heard nothing but horror stories from first-time home buyers, instead of going down the rabbit hole of what not to do in picking your lender, how about we get on the solution side of this conundrum? I'm going to take a leap here since I'm telling you this as an educator. Again, not a lender, not anyone who can make a dime off of your home loan. So this is a neutral opinion. The most successful plan in assembling your real estate support team for a first-time home buyer, the majority of the time is to do it in the order that I just said. Take 100 times more time figuring out how to hire your realtor who can then get you to a lender. Now, if you want to ask for a unicorn realtor from us, great, we can do that. If you want to go out and find your own, great. Use all the information here and do that. But spend way more time hiring that realtor who then gets you to a lender than you do shopping around looking at interest rates. It's insane to me that people are like, I'm going to buy a house in, 6 months. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shop for the rates right now. Okay, well, in 6 months, the rates are going to be completely different. And you have no idea what the lenders are going to be able to offer in 6 months. So that's why see question 2 for how to pick your lender. Question number 4, and these are the questions that get asked to me the most. It just happens to be the answers all kind of end up coming from the same place. Question 4 on the top 10 list, should I use an online lender to get a better rate? Well, here at How to Buy a Home, we say friends don't let friends use online lenders. Run from these factories of incompetence and greed. One of the biggest mistakes in human history, besides the abomination that is Greece 2, go ahead, I'll fight you on that one. It's that first-time home buyers shopping mortgage loan rates instead of shopping for the right lender that can offer comparable rates, wildly better service, and planning tips a year or 2 before you're even ready to buy, which will ultimately save you heaps, gobs, and tons of money by helping you qualify for the best loan product possible, all at the lowest loan fees. People skipping that step and jumping right to shopping rates, that's got to be one of the biggest mistakes in history, and I'm including Cool Rider. Stay away from online lenders. Find a real person to talk to instead of being put into a customer service factory. And I've been saying this since the podcast started, like way back in 2019 at episodes 11 and 16. If you want to listen to those, the audio sucks and I'm super cringy, but it's the same message. Question number 5, is it better to use my bank, a credit union, or a mortgage broker? This question, it's not quite so black and white because there are a few unicorn realtors that I know who have great relationship with some of the big bank lenders. So sometimes that can work out for you. But I will say that overall, in general, 20 years of doing this, tens of thousands of first-time home buyers, most of the time a mortgage broker will get you much, much more than a bank and way more than your credit union. I explained all the details back in episode 16 with the crappy audio and the cringy jokes, but here's the way it works. Your bank, if you go to one of the big banks, Wells Fargo, Chase, Citibank, one of the big guys, they're going to offer you maybe like 5 products, and they're all tied specifically to the bank. What a mortgage broker is somebody that shops multiple different loan products for you, like 20 to 30 loan products, most of the time, including the same products the big banks offer. And then you're free to select the best product out of all the big bank products, plus a whole bunch of other loan products that are actually funded by investors. And they're not as stringent or conservative as the big banks. So which ones do you think are the types of loans that most first-time buyers end up going with? Yeah, a lot of first-time home buyers aren't sitting here with 25% down and an 825 credit score. So they get to the best rates they can get from the other options provided by a mortgage broker who has a huge amount of loan products available to you. Big banks are great if you got 40% down in gigantic dollars and super credit. And I love credit unions, but not for home loans. I'm telling you this, they're great for savings accounts, car loans, and small personal loans, but they just stink for home loans. And I can tell you this from real world example. Here in Southern California, I've helped over 285 Disneyland employees. The Disneyland people don't call themselves employees, they call themselves cast members. And they have an amazing credit union. I've actually been in the credit union, talked to their loan department, and what I saw did not impress me at all. And a lot of my people, when they asked me about the credit union, I said, great, check it out. And they tried it. Not one of them in the 285 Disneyland cast members / employees ever used their credit union because once they talked to a real mortgage broker, they found the level of service was much, much better. Question number 6, how much salary do I need to make before I start thinking about being able to buy a home? Okay, gang, you're going to hate this answer, but I'd rather be a truth teller that you hate than a scam artist who you trust. The answer is, it depends. Sucks, gang. Sorry, it always depends, which means you can't believe a generic formula that someone tells you. No two buyers are the same, and every answer is going to be wildly different for everybody. It's why I hate when I hear people say, well, you know what? Housing prices just got to a point. If you make $100,000, you can't even afford the average home in America. When I hear that, I want to jump through the computer and punch those people in the face. Actually, I'd probably kick them because I was a soccer player and then a dancer, so I probably have more power in my kick. But I digress. There is way too much information for a home buyer. We're talking hundreds of personal variables beyond just your salary to determine the personal answer to that question. How much money do I need to make? So the answer for you, lots of math, episode 443. Question 7, when will I know I'm actually ready to talk to a mortgage person? Hey, hi there. My name's David. And who are you? Oh, hello there. Well, I'm glad you're here and you're listening to the show. Here's the answer to that question, my brand new friend. If you had this podcast in your ear holes right now, you should be talking to a mortgage person yesterday. Get a unicorn realtor, get a recommended lender from them, and then start your plan today. And no, it is not too early. You don't want a home mortgage person who's just punching your numbers in and telling you what your loan approval is right now. You want a mortgage advisor, someone who is interested, not just in the people who can buy a home right now. And I'm telling you, someone who's not going to be bothered if you reach out to them early. I appreciate the fact you don't want to bother anyone. That's very considerate of you. But fortunately, when you find a non-robot customer service lending squad, a unicorn-style real estate support team, they love to help you early. In fact, you should check out episode 480 to see what I'm talking about. Question number 8, nobody can buy with these high mortgage rates. Got it. Logical. Makes sense. Not true. There is always an obstacle in any housing market to buy a home. There is never a perfect time to buy a home. But unfortunately now on the internet, the haters always have something to bitch about and spread untruths. There are dozens of real life stories in the interviews that you can find in the episode guide. And most of them, they used well below 20% down and found affordable options, even in the last couple of years at 6 or 7%. The people who are saying nobody can afford a home right now because prices and interest rates are too high, I got one thing to ask you. Why is the housing market not crashing? Why are prices staying the same place today as they were 6 months ago? Because people have been buying homes for the last 6 months at these prices with these mortgage rates. And I have the data. If interest rates and high prices or inventory was so bad that only people with perfect credit and 20% down could buy a home, then we'd know about it. The economy would be collapsing. So don't believe the haters, because the people who are figuring this out right now, they're just discovering their options. And how you do that, all laid out in episode 364. And in fact, this year, I've dropped a lot of math to help first-time home buyers for 2026 and 2027. The details are in episode 426 on low down payments, episode 443 on how much home I could afford, and some really cool new stuff I just dropped in episode 480. There are huge opportunities right now because most people don't have me in their ear holes. They're not getting this inside information. And in general, when things get a little chaotic, people get tentative, which is your opportunity to pounce. Question number 9. I'm a little scared about talking to a lender right now because I don't want to get my credit pulled and lower my credit score. Okay, this is another big one that I have to rebut all the time. So hear me now, homies. This is a myth. This is wrong. This is bad advice. Now, before you skeptics hit the fast forward button, I want to compliment you skeptics who are like, this dude doesn't know what he's talking about. I can't lower my credit score. Great. If that's what you think. You're thinking in the right way for being a potential home buyer. You're concerned about your credit score. I have massive respect for you. But a home purchase, that particular buying process, it's got intricacies that are very different. And sometimes people end up being too overcautious. I've seen this for 20 years. You know, the people that I find are the majority of the people that are concerned about getting a hard credit pull, as they call it. It's the most educated, smartest, and most prepared buyers that I see all year long. This is a fact. And they usually have credit scores over 800, which means they could get 5 hard credit pulls and it wouldn't affect their home buying purchasing power in any way. Okay, we've established there's a little bit of trust here. I'm not a lender. I'm not trying to sell you anything. So let's talk about how you came to think that a hard credit pull is going to hurt you in your home buying process. Okay, so is it fair to say that over 20 years of helping tens of thousands of first-time home buyers that I've amassed more concrete data on this than perhaps you and your Google search, which I'm sure you're a very smart person, was very thorough. I already told you I believe in you and you're very conscientious and intelligent, but here's my data. And I hope you know I'm joking with you and not being condescending. Over 20 years of helping tens of thousands and coaching all kinds of people, I've seen people lose their home because they waited to get their credit pulled till the end, even if they had fantastic credit score, because you never know. It's like something like 30, 40, 50% of, I've seen different studies on it, of your credit scores, they have some kind of mistake. Now, it might not be anything crazy, but it can cause a problem right at the end of the transaction, and it might be too late to fix it. I've seen more people lose homes because they waited to get their credit pulled. And on the other side of things, I've seen more people get a home because they did the smart thing and got their credit pulled early and they found some things that they needed to fix. And now they had the time to fix it. And you know what? There is such a thing as what we call a soft credit pull. That's the big thing about this whole thing. There's a soft credit pull. So if you're freaking out about getting your credit pulled early, 1, listen to what I just said the past couple minutes, but number 2, fine. You can still get consultation from a lender using what's called a soft credit pull, and it won't hurt your credit at all. So there's absolutely no reason to wait. All the information on credit scores is in episode 403. All right, last one. What can I do to avoid PMI? because I want to get that cheap monthly mortgage payment. Okay, gang, PMI, private mortgage insurance, or MI, my mortgage insurance. The generations that came before you, they could buy a home way differently than we can today. So your PMI or your MI, it's an extra monthly fee that you pay the lender, and you only pay it as part of your monthly payment if your down payment's less than 20%. And so it has been labeled a bad financial move. Okay, Grandpa, hey, Boomer, that philosophy was created when the difference between 10% down and 20% down was just a few $1,000s. And if you wanted to take your time and save up to get to 20% down, your rent was practically nothing. So you weren't spending a big ton of money to try to save up to get to 20%. Well, things are different today. Rents have skyrocketed. Home prices are crazy high. And for most renters, waiting to save up for a huge 20% down payment so you can avoid PMI, that is mathematically the bad financial move, not paying PMI, which is what they used to say in the old days. But you know what? This damn old myth, it's still out there. So if you've been told this, did the person or the article that told you that PMI is terrible, let me ask you this, did they give you the math behind that? If they did and you still think it's bad, they lied to you with their math. Most of the time, I'm guessing they didn't give it to you. PMI isn't bad. It's not financially irresponsible. And I've been sharing the math on this podcast since I started, including old episodes titled PMI is not the devil and another one called PMI is a privilege. So if you want the real math on PMI, check out episode 464. All right, homies, that was a lot of information. I get it. And I know I gave you a whole bunch of different episodes to go to get deeper into that information. I highly encourage you to do that because I know that doing your research on buying your first home, it can feel overwhelming. But the good news is all the information's here. We've got hundreds of detailed episodes, and the only purpose is to increase your education and awareness for first-time home buyers out there. We're not running any Super Bowl ads. What we've created is your complete resource driven to empower you, not to fleece you for profits. And if you need more information, it's there to help unravel the mystery and show you the solutions, the most efficient, safe, and cost-effective ways for you to beat this game, which unfortunately right now is rigged against you. I'm going to put that episode link in the show notes. You can get all the details on these 10 questions, plus everything else that you want to know about how to get a home mortgage and how a home mortgage works. If you got anything out of this episode, please do us a favor, drop a written review on Apple, Spotify, or Google so we can keep this revolution going. And if you have your own specific question, you can go to the episode guide and find the answer and listen on your next drive to work or your next workout time. Or you can go directly to howtobuyahome.com. There's a place to ask David. When you hit that answer will come directly from me. Yeah, me. Usually in 24 hours. No AI, no robot. Because I want to make sure everyone out there understands that you have more solutions than you think. You can do this.
Looking for more DIY education or your own personal step-by-step guidance through the home buying journey? Since 2019, How to Buy a Home has been the #1 resource for first-time home buyers. So visit howtobuyahome.com to get started.